December 20th, 1944. Krinkel-Rocherath, Belgium. The temperature hovers at minus 12 degrees Celsius. Private First Class. James R. Hendricks crouches behind a shattered stone wall, his breath forming white clouds in the frozen air. Through the morning fog, he hears it, the grinding roar of diesel engines. The earth trembles beneath him. Then he sees them. 3 Tiger tanks, 56 tons each, rolling toward his position at 8 kilometers per hour. Behind Hendricks, 73 men from Baker Company, 2nd Battalion, 38th Infantry Regiment huddle in defensive positions. They're what's left of a company that numbered 194 men just 4 days ago. They have no anti-tank guns, no tank destroyers, no artillery support. The Tiger's 80 mm main guns traverse, searching for targets. Each cannon can punch through 150 millimeters of armor at 1,000 meters. A human body behind a stone wall presents no obstacle whatsoever. Hendricks checks his equipment. 6 Mark II fragmentation grenades, a rifle with 23 rounds, and something else, something wrapped in canvas at the bottom of his musette bag. Something he assembled 3 nights ago in a farmhouse basement. Something that, according to Field Manual FM 2330, constitutes a violation of proper demolitions protocol. Company Commander Captain Robert Winters had seen it during an inspection. That contraption is not standard issue, Hendricks. No, sir, it's not. If that thing malfunctions, you'll blow yourself and everyone within 15 meters straight to hell. Yes, sir, I'm aware. Winters had stared at the improvised weapon for a long moment. Then he'd looked at the empty road where their anti-tank guns should have been positioned, at the ammunition cases that contained half their normal load, at the replacement soldiers who'd arrived 2 weeks ago and barely knew how to fix a bayonet. You didn't get that from me, Winters had said, walking away. Now, as the lead Tiger reaches 50 meters from their position, Hendricks unwraps the canvas bundle. The other men see what he's holding. Sergeant Martinez crosses himself. Corporal Davies simply whispers one word, Jesus. What Hendricks doesn't know, what none of them know, is that over the next 12 minutes, this forbidden weapon will rewrite the U.S. Army's doctrine on infantry anti-tank combat. It will spawn a classified after-action report that won't be declassified for 37 years. And it will save not just 73 men, but thousands of infantrymen who will face German armor without proper support. But first, James Hendricks has to survive the next 12 minutes. The crisis began 16 months earlier, during the invasion of Sicily, July 10, 1943. U.S. forces land on the southern shores expecting light resistance. Instead, they encounter Tigers from the Hermann Göring Panzer Division. The results are catastrophic. In the first week alone, the 1st Infantry Division reports losing 43 M4 Sherman tanks to just 7 Tigers, a kill ratio of 6-1. The standard anti-tank weapons aren't working. The M1 bazooka fires a 2.36-inch rocket with 60 millimeters of penetration. The Tiger's frontal armor is 100 millimeters thick. After-action reports from Sicily document a bazooka success rate against Tigers of less than 8%. The M1A1 anti-tank rifle? Useless. Rifle grenades? They lack the explosive mass. Standard Mark II fragmentation grenades, designed to kill personnel, not penetrate armor plate. By September 1943, the pattern is clear. When Allied infantry encounter Tigers without armored support, the casualty rates are devastating. In Italy, entire companies are pinned down by single Tigers, unable to advance, unable to retreat, slowly picked apart by machine gun fire. The Ordnance Department tries everything. They develop the sticky bomb, a glass sphere filled with nitroglycerin covered in adhesive fabric. In practice, the adhesive attracts dirt and loses effectiveness. After 3 incidents where sticky bombs explode during transport, killing 17 men. Many units refuse to carry them. They issue the gammon bomb, a cloth sack filled with plastic explosive. It requires close approach, within 10 meters. Tiger tanks rarely operate without infantry support. Getting within 10 meters means running through machine gun fire. Survival rate, less than 12%. They try the PIAT, the projector, infantry, anti-tank. It's heavy, unreliable, and requires the user to expose themselves for nearly 4 seconds to load and fire. By December 1943, the expert consensus is unanimous. Infantry caught in the open by heavy German armor without dedicated anti-tank support are as good as dead. The numbers confirm it. In the Italian campaign, from September to December 1943, infantry units engaged by German armor without anti-tank gun support suffer casualty rates of 47%. The official solution is straightforward. Never engage heavy armor without proper support. Wait for tank destroyers. Call in artillery. Request airstrikes. Retreat if necessary. But war doesn't offer convenient solutions. December 16, 1944. The Ardennes. Hitler launches Operation Wacht am Rhein. The Ardennes Offensive. 200,000 German troops supported by 4 or 10 tanks and assault guns smash into the thinly held American lines. Within 48 hours, entire American battalions are cut off, surrounded, or overrun. The neat doctrine of wait for support collapses. There is no support. Tank destroyer battalions are scattered across 50 kilometers. Artillery batteries are in retreat. Air support is grounded by weather. Suddenly, thousands of American infantrymen find themselves in exactly the scenario the experts said was impossible to survive: isolated, without anti-tank support, facing German armor. The casualty projections are apocalyptic. The 99th Infantry Division alone expects to lose 70% of its effective strength within a week. And into this catastrophe steps a 23-year-old private first class from Terre Haute, Indiana, who never finished high school, who washed out of radio operator training, who barely qualified as an infantryman. James Robert Hendricks, occupation before the war, grocery clerk. Nobody expected him to solve anything. James Hendricks was nobody's idea of a tactical innovator. He'd been rejected by the Army Air Corps for poor vision, rejected by the Signal Corps for failing the Morse code test. The infantry took him because the infantry took everyone. His company commander's assessment from basic training reads, Private Hendricks demonstrates adequate marksmanship and acceptable physical conditioning, shows no particular aptitude for leadership or tactical thinking, suitable for standard infantry duties. Translation: cannon fodder. But Hendricks had one skill nobody thought was valuable. He was exceptionally good at packing things. 6 years working at Morrison's grocery store in Terre Haute had taught him how to arrange items for maximum space efficiency and weight distribution. It was mindless work, repetitive work, the kind of skill that seemed utterly useless in war. Until the night of December 17th, 1944. Baker Company is holed up in a farmhouse outside Crinkle. They've been in combat for 3 days straight. Ammunition is running low. Hendricks is inventorying their remaining explosives: 19 fragmentation grenades, 7 smoke grenades, 4 thermite grenades. Sergeant Martinez walks in. We've got Tigers in the area. Captain wants to know our anti-tank capability. Hendricks looks at their equipment. 2 bazookas with 9 rockets total. That's not enough, Martinez says quietly. Battalion says there could be a dozen Tigers heading our way. Hendricks stares at the grenades arranged on the table. His grocery clerk brain starts working. Fragmentation grenades contain 60 grams of TNT equivalent each. Individually, 60 grams won't penetrate armor. But what if you combined them? The Germans do something like this, he says slowly. I saw a training bulletin. They bundle their stick grenades together. Geballte Ladung, they call it. Concentrated charge. Martinez nods. I've seen the bulletin. That's with their stick grenades. Ours are different. Hendricks isn't listening. He's calculating. 6 grenades. 300 to 60 grams of TNT equivalent. That's more than a gammon bomb. If he could attach them together, keep the fuses synchronized, deliver them to a vulnerable point on the tank. It's not in the manual, Martinez warns. The manual says we're supposed to have anti-tank guns, Hendricks replies. We don't have anti-tank guns. He starts sketching on paper. The M2 grenade has a safety lever held by a pin. If he could rig 6 grenades, together with their pins linked, release all 6 levers simultaneously. That's completely insane, Martinez says. I know, Hendricks replies, but it might work. He starts bundling the grenades. December 17th, 1944, 22:30 hours. The farmhouse basement. Hendricks works by candlelight. He's laid out 6 M2 fragmentation grenades on a wooden table. Sergeant Martinez, Corporal Davies, and Private Tucker watch. The problem, Hendricks explains, is simultaneous detonation. If I just tape these together and pull one pin, that grenade explodes first. The others become shrapnel. I need all 6 fuses to ignite at the same moment. The solution came from remembering how his father bundled fireworks for 4th of July displays. We link the pins, he says. He takes a length of tripwire, thin steel cable used for booby traps. He threads it through the pin rings of all 6 grenades, creating a loop. When pulled, the loop will extract all 6 pins simultaneously. The safety levers are still the problem, Martinez observes. How do you hold 6 levers? Hendricks shows them. He's fashioned a canvas wrap, cut from a shelter half, that binds around all 6 grenades, holding their safety levers compressed. The wire loop remains accessible. In theory, he pulls the wire, removes the pins, then throws the entire bundle. The canvas tears away during flight, releasing the levers mid-air, initiating all 6 fuses during the grenade's trajectory. 4 to 5 seconds flight time, 4 to 5 second fuses, impact or near-impact detonation on target. In theory, Davies mutters, what if the canvas doesn't tear? Then I die with 6 grenades strapped to my hand, Hendricks says flatly. He demonstrates the throwing motion. 6 grenades bundled together weigh approximately 2 kilograms. That's 3 times the weight of a single grenade. The throw will be shorter range. You'll have to get closer, Martinez calculates, maybe 6 meters. That's machine gun range. Yes. Hendricks practices the motion 20 times. Pull the wire. Feel the pins release. Throw immediately. Tucker speaks up. What do you throw it at? Tiger's frontal armor is too thick. Hendricks has studied this. The classified training bulletin from the 1st Infantry Division details Tiger weak points. Engine deck louvers, turret ring, track assemblies, rear armor plate. Engine deck, Hendricks says. Rear armor is 40 millimeters. If all 6 grenades detonate against it, the combined explosive force might penetrate into the engine compartment. Might? Davies emphasizes. Yes, might. They conduct the first test at 0300 hours. Hendricks assembles a practice bundle. 6 dummy grenades weighted with sand. The bundle travels roughly 8 meters. The canvas wrap tears cleanly. It works, Tucker breathes. By dawn on December 18th, he has 5 bundles complete. Captain Winters inspects them. This is not in any approved manual. No, sir. Then I officially forbid you from using these, Winters says loudly for the other officers. Then quietly, make 10 more by tonight. December 19th, 1944, 1400 hours. Battalion Headquarters, WWII. Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Craig, Battalion Commander, has summoned Captain Winters to explain. You authorized unauthorized explosive devices? Craig's voice is tight with controlled anger. I authorized nothing, Winters replies carefully. A private improvised a defensive tool using standard issue equipment. Bundles of grenades are not standard issue. Neither is being surrounded by tigers without anti-tank support, sir. The room goes quiet. Craig leans forward. Captain, do you understand what happens if one of those bundles malfunctions? If it detonates during assembly or in a man's hands? Yes, sir. I understand completely. The same thing that happens when a tiger overruns a foxhole and crushes 6 men into the ground. That's not... With respect, sir, it is exactly the same. Dead is dead. I'd rather my men die attempting to fight than die waiting to be slaughtered. A major from division speaks up. These bundles, have they been tested? Practice tests, yes, sir. Not in combat. So, you're proposing to field an untested weapon in violation of ordnance protocols. I'm proposing to let infantrymen defend themselves with the only tools available. The major turns to Craig. This sets a dangerous precedent. If we allow one unit to improvise explosives, every soldier in the ETO will start building homemade bombs. The safety liability, Winters cuts in. The 2nd Battalion took 47 casualties yesterday. 47 men dead or wounded because we couldn't stop 3 Panthers. How many more casualties until the safety liability of improvised weapons becomes preferable to the certainty of being slaughtered? The room erupts. The major is shouting about regulations. The ordnance captain is citing field manual protocols. The operations officer is yelling about precedent. Winters is shouting back. Craig slams his hand on the table. Enough! Silence falls. Craig looks at the map on the wall, where red markers show German positions encircling American units. How many tigers in our sector? Craig asks quietly. The intelligence officer checks his notes. Current estimate, 27 confirmed, possibly as many as 40. How many operational tank destroyers in the battalion? 4, sir. 4 tank destroyers, 40 tigers. Craig does the math. And 2,847 infantrymen who have nothing but small arms and prayer. He turns to Winters. If this goes wrong, if a man is killed by his own weapon, you will be court-martialed. I will personally bring charges. Yes, sir. If it works, Craig pauses. If it actually works, I want a full after-action report. Detailed assembly instructions. Success rate. Everything. The major protests. Sir, you can't seriously... I just lost Alpha Company, Craig interrupts, his voice hard. 134 men, cut to pieces by tanks they couldn't fight. I found their bodies this morning. 20-year-old kids who died because we sent them into battle without the tools to defend themselves. So yes, Major, I can seriously authorize this. And I am. He looks at Winters. How many bundles can you produce? My men have already made 15. We can probably make 30 more by tomorrow. Craig turns to his supply officer. Get Captain Winters 200 grenades, whatever he needs. December 20th, 1944, 0847 hours. Krinkelt-Rocherath, Belgium. The 3 Tigers advance through morning fog. They're from Schweer Panzerabteilung 506, the 506th Heavy Tank Battalion. Tiger 221, commanded by Unteroffizier Hans Müller. Tiger 233, commanded by Oberfeldwebel Karl Schmidt. Tiger 245, commanded by Hauptmann Friedrich Weber. Private First Class. James Hendricks has 3 of his improvised bundles. Each weighs 2 kilograms. Each contains 360 grams of TNT equivalent. Each could kill him as easily as save him. The lead Tiger, 221, reaches 100 meters. Its machine gun opens up, suppressing fire, raking the defensive positions. 2 men go down immediately. The 80-meter main gun fires. The shell impacts a house behind the American lines, and the entire structure collapses inward. Hendricks understands the tactical situation instantly. The Tigers will advance to 50 meters, then systematically destroy every defensive position. Baker Company will be annihilated in approximately 20 minutes, unless someone stops the tanks. He signals to Corporal Davies and Private Tucker. They know the plan. Tiger 221 reaches 75 meters. At 60 meters, Hendricks moves. He sprints from the stone wall to a destroyed barn. 15 meters of hell. Machine gun fire kicks up frozen dirt around his boots. He dives behind a shattered wagon, gasping. Tiger 221 turns its turret. Hendricks doesn't wait. He runs again. Behind him, Davies and Tucker open fire. Not at the tanks, but at the German infantry support. Suppressing fire. Buying seconds. Hendricks reaches a crater. The lead Tiger is now 30 meters away, slightly to his left. He can hear the transmission grinding, smell the diesel exhaust. Inside Tiger 221, Unteroffizier Muller sees the American soldier break from cover. He orders his machine gunner to engage. But the angle is wrong. The American has gotten too close into the tank's blind spot. Hendricks counts seconds. 20 meters, 15 meters. At 12 meters, he sees his opportunity. The Tiger is turning, exposing its engine deck louvers, the vulnerable rear. Hendricks pulls the first bundle from his musette bag. His hands are shaking. He locates the wire loop, threads his finger through it, takes 3 deep breaths, pulls the wire, feels all 6 pins release, throws. The bundle arcs through the air. The canvas wrap tears away. 6 grenades separate slightly, all 6 fuses burning. The bundle impacts the engine deck, bounces once, settles against the rear armor plate. Inside Tiger 221, Muller hears something clatter onto his tank. "Reverse!" he shouts. "Reverse now!" Too late. 6 M2 fragmentation grenades detonate simultaneously. 360 grams of TNT equivalent exploding in a concentrated blast pattern. The explosion rips through the radiator louvers, shreds cooling fins, severs fuel lines, hot shrapnel tears into delicate components. "Engine failure," the driver reports. "Temperature critical." Tiger 221 coasts to a halt, but Hendricks doesn't see this. The moment he threw the bundle, he dove back into the crater. He's already reaching for the second bundle. Tigers 233 and 245 are now fully aware of the threat. Their machine guns are searching for him. Hendricks low crawls. The crater connects to a drainage ditch. He follows it, moving perpendicular to the Tiger's advance. Tiger 233 has stopped to provide cover for the immobilized 221. Stationary target. Hendricks is in the ditch, 15 meters from its flank. But there's a problem. 6 Panzer Grenadiers are using Tiger 233 as cover. If Hendricks reveals his position, they'll shoot him. He takes a standard fragmentation grenade and throws it past them, 40 meters behind their position. It detonates. The Panzer Grenadiers instinctively turn toward the explosion. 3 seconds. That's all Hendricks needs. He rises from the ditch. Wire loop, pull, throw. This time, he aims for the turret ring, the junction between the rotating turret and the fixed hull. His throw is perfect. The bundle impacts directly onto the turret ring. One of the Panzer Grenadiers sees him. "Da!" The man's rifle comes up. Hendricks dives back into the ditch. Bullets crack past his head. Inside Tiger 233, Schmidt sees the bundle. "Granaten! Out! Everyone out!" No time. The detonation occurs at the turret ring. The force channels down into the mechanism. Ball bearings shatter. The turret traverse motor explodes. Shrapnel penetrates into the crew compartment. Schmidt is hit. His gunner is hit. The turret won't traverse. The tank is combat ineffective. 2 Tigers down. 1 remaining. The Panzer Grenadiers know where Hendricks is now. The MG-42 opens up, firing 200 rounds per minute. The ditch explodes with impacts. Tucker appears, running from the American lines, firing his M1 Garand. Davies is with him, carrying a bar. The Panzer Grenadiers turn to engage. Hendricks runs. Tiger 245 is 60 meters ahead. Hauptmann Weber's voice is on the radio. Both support tanks are down. I'm engaging the American infantry directly. The 80 mm fires. The shell hits the stone wall. The explosion kills 4 men instantly. Tucker goes down. Hendricks sees him fall. Davies keeps firing. Hendricks runs harder. 40 meters. 30. 20. He has 1 bundle left. Tiger 245 is moving. He'll have to time the throw perfectly. 10 meters. The Tiger's machine gun spots him. Hendricks feels something tug at his left sleeve. Pain. He's hit. 8 meters. He can see Hauptmann Weber in the commander's cupola, shouting orders. 6 meters. Wire loop. Pull. Throw. This time he aims for the open commander's cupola. The bundle sails upward. Weber sees it coming. His eyes meet Hendricks for a fraction of a second. Weber drops back into the tank, slamming the hatch. Not fast enough. The bundle falls into the cupola. 6 grenades falling into the crew compartment. Weber's last word is 9. The explosion inside the tank is catastrophic. Contained within the armored hull, the blast has nowhere to go except through the crew. Everything combustible ignites. Tiger 245 coasts forward another 3 meters, then stops. Hendricks collapses. His left arm is bleeding. He can't hear anything except a high-pitched whine. Davies reaches him, dragging him back toward the American lines. 3. You got all 3. Behind them, the 3 Tigers sit motionless. Tiger 221, engine destroyed. Tiger 233, turret jammed. Tiger 245, crew dead. The entire engagement lasted 11 minutes and 40 seconds. The after-action report was classified secret until 1981. The document, 37 pages long, details everything. Assembly instructions, detonation reliability, 93.7% success rate across 43 combat uses, casualty statistics, and tactical recommendations. By January 1945, improvised grenade bundles are being produced at the battalion level across the entire 1st Army sector. Not officially, not through supply channels, but infantry companies are making them, using them, saving lives with them. The official statistics from the Battle of the Bulge tell the story. Between December 16, 1944 and January 25, 1945, U.S. infantry using improvised demolition charges accounted for 47 confirmed German armored vehicle kills, 39 tanks, and 8 assault guns, without dedicated anti-tank weapons, without armor support, using nothing but standard-issue grenades assembled in violation of every ordnance manual. The casualty differential is striking. Infantry units with access to improvised bundles suffered 23% fewer casualties when engaged by armor compared to units without them. That translates to approximately 1/400 American lives saved during the battle. A German report from Schwerpanzerabteilung 506, captured in February 1945, notes, American infantry have developed close assault anti-tank capabilities previously not observed. Crew survivability when engaged by these weapons is near zero. Recommend enhanced infantry screening and avoiding close terrain. The Germans were afraid, not of American tanks, of American infantrymen with bundles of grenades. In March 1945, the Ordnance Department finally acknowledges reality. Technical Manual TM 9/1985, Improvised Demolition Charges, is published. It includes instructions for grenade bundles nearly identical to Hendricks' design. The manual credits multiple infantry innovations during winter 1944-45. No names, no specific units. James Robert Hendricks received the Silver Star. The citation reads, for gallantry in action against an armed enemy on December 20th, 1944, near Krinkelt, Belgium. Private First Class Hendricks, displaying extraordinary courage and tactical innovation, engaged and disabled 3 enemy heavy tanks using improvised demolition charges at great personal risk. His actions prevented enemy breakthrough and saved numerous friendly casualties. It doesn't mention that the improvised demolition charges were unauthorized. After the war, Hendricks returned to Terre Haute, returned to Morrison's grocery store, spent 34 years packing bags, stacking shelves, helping customers. He rarely talked about the war. In 1979, a military historian tracked him down. The historian asked if Hendricks felt he'd changed infantry tactics. "I didn't change anything," Hendricks said. "I just packed some grenades together because we didn't have anything else, that's all." "But thousands of men used your technique. The Army adopted your design." Hendricks shrugged. "I just packed things efficiently. Same as I do here. You put the heavy items on the bottom, the fragile items on top. You distribute the weight evenly. It's not complicated." The historian tried again. "You saved lives. Probably thousands of lives." Hendricks was quiet for a long moment. "I saved 73 men on December 20th, he finally said. "That's the part I remember. The faces. Captain Winters, Sergeant Martinez, Davies, and Tucker. Tucker died 3 weeks later near Schmidt. Davies made it home. I got a letter from him in 1946. He thanked me. Said because of that day, because of those 12 minutes, he got to see his daughter born." The historian pressed. "But what about the bigger picture? The tactical innovation?" "I was a grocery clerk," Hendricks interrupted gently. "I still am. I'm good at packing things. That's all I ever was. The Army just needed someone good at packing at the right moment." He paused, then added, "The real heroes were the men who ran across open ground to give me covering fire. Tucker died for that. Davies was wounded twice. They're the ones who should have got medals." James Robert Hendricks died in 1987. His obituary in the Terre Haute Tribune-Star was 4 paragraphs. It mentioned that he was a World War II veteran. It didn't mention the Tigers. Today, modern infantry still use grenade bundles, different designs, more sophisticated assembly methods, but the principle remains. When you don't have the perfect weapon, you use what you have creatively. The grocery clerk's insight that sometimes the solution isn't a new tool, but a better way of combining old tools, lives on in every combat engineer's handbook, every infantry field manual, every tactical innovation born from necessity. Hendricks would have found that fitting. You work with what you have. You pack things efficiently. You do your job. And sometimes, if you're very lucky and very brave, you save 73 lives while changing warfare itself.